Hi friends, today I'm going to tell you about a movie where a soldier fighting in World War II suddenly ends up in the year 2025 through a mysterious wormhole. Let's see exactly what happens to him. The story begins with a woman named Mary and her young son, Elias. They are driving from Ohio to California to visit Mary's sister. From their conversation, we understand that Mary's husband has recently passed away and she wants to cheer up Elias. But Elias is upset. He wasn't supposed to go on this trip, and he feels frustrated and moody. Mary keeps trying to comfort him, telling him that everything will be fine and that the trip is only to help them heal a little. While following the map, they take a wrong turn. As they try to correct it and make a U-turn, the ground suddenly shakes violently. An earthquake begins. Then, to their shock, a strange, swirling portal opens in the sky. Through it, a plane suddenly comes flying out and crashes near them. Mary and Elias are terrified. Elias immediately jumps out of the car and runs toward the plane, ignoring his mother's calls to stop. As he gets closer, he sees that it is an old fighter jet, one from the World War II era. Mary quickly calls 911, telling them that a plane has crashed in front of them. Inside the plane, the pilot is struggling to get out. Elias points him out, and Mary rushes to help. They manage to pull the man from the burning plane and bring him safely to the shore. The pilot is badly shaken, and his name is Lieutenant Theodore Cole. He is an American soldier. What Mary and Elias don't know yet is that Theodore has just traveled through time from the middle of World War II directly to the year 2025 because of the wormhole. Theodore is panicking. He looks around wildly and yells, "What are you doing here? This is a battlefield. Bombs are falling. Get out of here." Mary tries to calm him down, explaining that there is no war anymore. Theodore cannot believe it. "This can't be happening," he says. "I was just fighting in Burma. I just shot down an enemy ship." "Are you English or German?" Mary answers. "We are Americans." Theodore is even more confused. "You're crazy. This is Burma. There is fighting all around. You're lost, and this is a war zone." Elias speaks up. "No, this is not Burma. This is Ohio." Theodore looks around and sees that there is no sign of war. No soldiers, no enemies, no bombs. He cannot understand anything. Then in the distance, he sees a water tank with the name of his hometown written on it. Recognition hits him, but it also confuses him even more. Overwhelmed by shock and disbelief, Theodore sits down, unable to process what has just happened. He is a soldier from the past, suddenly thrown into a completely different world, his past and present colliding in a way he cannot comprehend. By this time, the police had arrived at the scene and took Theodore to the hospital. Mary gave her statement to the officers, explaining exactly what had happened. She said that while she was driving, the plane had suddenly crashed in front of them. When they pulled the man out, he was terrified and speaking strange things, claiming he was in the middle of a war, but no one believed him. The police thought he was mentally unstable, and doctors concluded that his mental condition was not good. Everyone around considered him delusional. Meanwhile, little Elias was extremely curious. He sensed that Theodore might actually be telling the truth. He couldn't stop thinking about the strange man. Quietly, he sneaked into Theodore's hospital room and found him lying unconscious. Elias looked around and spotted a nameplate. Suddenly, Theodore regained consciousness. In panic, he grabbed Elias's hand and demanded, "Where am I? Why won't these people let me go?" Elias tried to calm him and replied, "They think your mental balance is not good. They don't understand you." "That's not true," Theodore said urgently. "What I'm saying is real. I am truly a soldier, and I must leave this place." He asked Elias for help. As a sign of trust, he handed Elias a chocolate bar, saying, "My wife gave this to me as a good luck charm. Whenever I have it, nothing bad happens." Elias promised to keep it safe. Theodore continued, "There is a police station nearby. The sheriff there, Stephen, knows me personally. I grew up here. He can help me. Will you meet him for me?" Elias nodded and agreed. But just then, commotion erupted outside. The police had learned that Theodore had regained consciousness and were rushing to interrogate him. Elias quickly locked the door to prevent them from entering. Inside, Theodore explained everything to Elias: the war, the time travel, and his desperate need for help. Soon, Theodore realized he had no choice. He opened the door himself, and a nurse sedated him. The police entered shortly after. Meanwhile, the officers repaired Mary's car, and she continued her journey with Elias. But Elias couldn't forget Theodore's words. He urged his mother, "We have to help that man. Maybe he is telling the truth. There's a police station on the way. If we tell his friend Stephen about him, it could really help." Mary didn't believe in these things at first, but for the sake of her son, she agreed. After some time, they arrived at a nearby police station. Elias asked about Sheriff Stephen. The policeman there shook his head and said, "There is no sheriff named Stephen working here." Mary apologized for the confusion, and both she and Elias began to leave. But Elias wasn't done. While glancing at some old photos in the station, he noticed a picture from 1930, and in it, he saw Theodore. Realizing its importance, Elias carefully took the photo with him. After leaving the police station, Elias showed the photo he had taken to his mother. At first, Mary was very angry. She scolded him for stealing. Even after seeing the photo, she could not accept what Elias was saying. He tried to explain, "Mother, the man in this photo looks exactly like Theodore." Mary shook her head. "It could be his grandfather," she said. "Sometimes people from the same family look alike. That doesn't prove anything." Meanwhile, at the site of the plane crash, a Secret Service team had arrived. The area around the crash was completely sealed off, and local police were kept at a distance. From the way they moved and set up their equipment, it was clear they knew something extraordinary had happened. A portal had opened, and someone had traveled through time. The mission was being led by a man named Bill, and his assistant Nina was helping him. From their conversation, it became clear that their department had dealt with similar incidents before. Strange events where people or objects from the past appeared in modern times. Bill said to Nina, "We have to keep a close eye on that pilot. If he doesn't return to his time, it could cause a disaster." At the hospital, Theodore had regained consciousness again. He had knocked out a nurse and managed to escape. Nina saw this and immediately sent her team to chase him. Theodore wandered through the city, completely confused. People were talking on their cell phones, but he had no idea what those strange devices were. He saw modern cars and buses and couldn't understand anything. Everything seemed foreign to him. He sensed that something was not right. Back at the crash site, the wormhole was still active. The ground trembled and small earthquakes shook the area repeatedly, showing the portal's unstable power. Elsewhere, Mary and Elias were continuing their journey. Mary was frustrated with Elias's curiosity and lack of focus. She had her own problems. Her husband had died years ago, and she was struggling to rebuild her life. At a petrol station, Elias discovered a letter in the car. It revealed that Mary was planning to leave him with his aunt. She couldn't afford to take care of him at the moment. Elias was heartbroken and argued with his mother. Mary too felt upset, but she was helpless. She wanted to fix her life first and then have her son back with her. Her husband, a pilot, had died years ago in a war in Afghanistan, leaving her alone to face life's difficulties. After filling up fuel and getting ready to leave, a surprising event happened. Theodore appeared suddenly on a motorcycle and crashed near them. Elias was shocked to see him. He turned to his mother and said, "See, Mother? All this is happening for a reason. This man keeps coming into our path again and again." Elias showed the old photo to Theodore. Seeing it, Theodore's eyes widened. "Yes," he said, "this is me, and this is my friend Ivan." Elias pleaded with his mother, "We have to help him." Finally, Mary agreed and asked Theodore, "Where do you want to go?" Theodore replied, "I need to go home. My wife Paula is waiting for me." With the police still searching for him, Theodore got into the car with Mary and Elias. As they drove, he passed by his home, but everything looked different. The streets, the buildings, even his house had changed. For a long time, he couldn't recognize anything. After searching carefully, he finally found his home. As he entered, Theodore called out for his wife. To his surprise, a nurse appeared, astonished to see him. She said, "No one has come here to see Paula for many years, not even her children. But you can meet her if you want." When Theodore looked around the house and saw the photographs, a heavy truth hit him. Many years had passed. He realized that he had never come home after the war. His wife, Paula, had moved on with her life. She had remarried and even had children. Seeing all this, Theodore felt a deep sadness in his heart. He felt completely lost and heartbroken. Without meeting Paula, he quietly walked out of the house. At that moment, he fully understood the truth. He was no longer in his own time. He had truly traveled to the future. Meanwhile, the Secret Service team, accompanied by the military, arrived at the scene. They approached Theodore carefully. Bill, their leader, spoke to him, trying to calm him down. "You don't need to run," he said. "We are not here to hurt you. Our goal is to send you back to your time safely. If you do not return, a huge disaster will happen. Everyone in this town could die." Bill added gently, "You have a chance to meet your wife, Paula. If you go back, you can be with her again. Don't waste it." Hearing this, Theodore finally agreed to go back to his time. But at the same time, Mary and Elias discovered a shocking truth. They learned that Theodore had actually died in the war. No matter what, if he returned, he would die there. Elias immediately ran to Theodore. "You can't go back," he shouted. "If you return, you'll be killed in the war." He showed Theodore an old newspaper article on his mobile phone, confirming his death in Burma. Seeing this, Theodore hesitated. Without wasting another second, both he and Elias ran away from the Secret Service. The agents tried to chase them, but Theodore and Elias managed to escape. They finally reached a quiet riverbank, where Elias felt a strange happiness. He looked at Theodore and felt a connection, a glimpse of his own father in this soldier. For Elias, it was like seeing his father come back to life. But Theodore was torn. He didn't belong here. His heart was in the past with Paula. He told Elias, "Before going to war, Paula and I used to dance in the same building across the street, but now it's all gone." That life is over. Elias, however, refused to let him leave. He reminded Theodore about his own father, who had also been a pilot and died in the war. "Maybe you didn't come here just by chance," Elias said. "Fate brought you here for a reason. There must be some purpose for you staying in this time." Theodore didn't seem convinced. Elias suggested, "If you really want to go back, take some essential things with you. That way you might survive there." Meanwhile, Mary had been taken to the Secret Service headquarters. Here, Nina explained the situation. "This anomaly," she said, "this wormhole is what we call a rift. It has happened many times in the past. Such rifts open between different times, and we always have to manage them carefully. If Theodore doesn't return to his time now, it will cause a massive disaster. We only have a few hours before the rift closes. Once it closes and he hasn't gone back, the entire town will face complete destruction." As evening came, Mary began to worry. Her son Elias was still with Theodore, and she couldn't stop thinking about him. But then, unexpectedly, Theodore himself arrived at the Secret Service headquarters. Mary approached him and spoke honestly. She explained the situation clearly. "If you don't go back to your own time, everything here could be destroyed. You can escape safely by returning to your time. You should go back. This is the only way to prevent disaster." Hearing this, Theodore finally agreed that he had to go. But before leaving, he wanted one last meeting with Paula. Many years had passed and Paula had grown old. When Theodore saw her, he was filled with emotion. He looked at the woman before him, the same person he had loved so deeply, but now aged by time. She did not immediately recognize him as her husband. Theodore, understanding her confusion, gently held her hand and comforted her. For a moment, it was as if time had reversed. They danced one last time, cherishing a few precious minutes together. When the dance ended, Theodore whispered goodbye. At that moment, Paula remembered. She had kept Theodore's photo in a locket all these years. Seeing the familiar face, tears came to her eyes and she realized he was truly her husband. Theodore smiled, his heart full, and prepared to leave. Before departing, Theodore turned to Mary. He spoke softly. "I know you lost your husband, but right now your son needs you more than anything. Don't leave him alone." He also spoke to Elias, encouraging him to be brave and strong. After saying goodbye to everyone, Theodore returned to the fighter plane, which the Secret Service team had carefully repaired. Bill reminded everyone, nothing from the past should remain here. It must be restored exactly as it was. Theodore remembered the chocolate bar he had given to Elias as a good luck charm. But Elias had already eaten it, so nothing would interfere with the timeline. Feeling reassured, Theodore climbed into the cockpit. He took one last look at Mary, Elias, and the team, then steered the plane straight toward the same glowing wormhole from which he had come. Everyone watched with bated breath. Bill worried that Theodore might not reach the wormhole in time, but Theodore made it just in time. The plane passed through and the wormhole closed behind him in an instant. Relief and happiness filled the hearts of everyone watching. The story ends there, leaving the origin of the wormhole a mystery. But Theodore clearly had a purpose in coming to this town. He reminded little Elias of his father and helped him understand that it was now important to move forward in life. He also made Mary realize that her son needed her more than ever and that she should stay by his side. And that's the end of this story. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know how you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!